Wanting change is assuming control. This is manifested through action. Sensual action attempts to change the arisen painful feeling. Why not endure the arisen pressure? This would be non-control manifesting right virtue. Change occurs naturally. Gain to loss, life to death, neutral feeling to painful. Yet craving is wanting change. When change arose and changed from your previous non-disturbance naturally. This wanting of change in a domain of natural change is perpetually and endlessly problematic and in vain. Assuming control in a domain of non-control perpetuates craving. Things change by themselves because you cannot access them. The change precedes you. You discover it having already changed. Feelings, perceptions, moods. You don't want change to happen to you, and yet you tacitly approve it by means of trying to change the experience that you became subjected to. Gratification reveals the danger, because there would be no gratification without implicit change and control. Thus you implicitly approve of this change through giving in to desire with a view of gratification. You insert yourself and become subject to pain. By intending the situation to be different, when you have no control or access to the presented phenomenological world. The direction where change comes from is completely inconceivable to you. That's why it's risky, deadly, and dangerous. Anicca is the perception of non-control. Nibbana is the ultimate perspective of non-control. The Tao of non-doing requires non-doing, and it's all left as perfect before any attempt to change a thing. You have the free will to suffer, or have no will at all. Phenomena endure. The experience endures, persists, and changes without your involvement. You discover feelings, perceptions, the body, even the action of breathing. Before, structurally, they exist before you, and you are within perceptions and feeling. Gratification is dangerous because it is wanting change from the very start. To the very end. Desire in action is perpetually wanting change. Where the pleasure you feel of its endurance is the pain of its pressure. Is my attitude subtly wanting change to occur? Am I contemplating in order to facilitate change to occur? Nibbana is stable. Wanting change is endless instability. Pressures can't be in a sight, sound, thought, or feeling, only in the assumption and approval of change. The danger is in not being free. Non-engagement is what is freedom. Is the attitude of "this is not optimal" a thing, or your attitude in regard to things you're subjected to? Where is the suffering? Not in the image of pain, but you saying no to the image of pain. Saying no assumes you can replace it from something from the outside by replacing this experience as a whole with another experience as a whole. Is craving in the feeling? No, it's the response to the feeling. So that's where the suffering is. Not on the level of enduring feeling, but in your attitude of wanting to change things, phenomena, the experience, feelings. Suffering is not in things, but in delighting in the assumed possibility of change and control. Greed attitude makes no difference to the aggregates. Not knowing that it makes no difference, you will keep trying to make a difference. The pressing side of an itch is your mental attitude. In the scene, just the scene. In the thought, just the thought. This is Nibbana. Beforehand, Susima, the knowledge of the endurance of phenomena. Afterwards, the knowledge of Nibbana. What is common to all suffering? Not wanting pain. Am I right to not want pain? Do I have a right to do so? Your attitude towards a feeling implies a type of entitlement from your point of view. You think you have a right to have a say, but is that really the case? If you had a say in the first place, things and phenomena would just obey your command. You thinking you should have a say is actually secondary to the things themselves. Whereas thinking you have a say kind of puts you first. And it is this discrepancy that is at the root of all suffering, nothing else. presence of craving is presence of suffering. Did you create that feeling, or is it found there, already enduring? Who is more correct in being there, the painful feeling or you? You who doesn't want it there. Who of the two is not minding their own business? Clearly the feeling is, it is unaware of you. It's you who interferes. Why is that? Because it hasn't been understood that interfering is impossible. Interfering cannot change the nature of things. Presence of interfering and the attitude of interfering means presence of suffering. Absence of interfering means absence of suffering. The presence of things remains the same. If feeling is there first, all intentions are contained within it, secondary to them, in response to. Thus you can never uproot it through your intentions, will, and desire. Craving comes from feeling, not feeling from craving. You can never take it up and own it, master it or control it. The structural order of mindfulness is a recognition that feelings and the aggregates are more fundamental than your particular actions to change them. Thus no action can get beneath feelings to change them, that determine them. Such is the nature of all the aggregates. Feelings are first, and you are within that. Feeling endures in the action as it moves you. Craving endures in the action as it moves you. Exercising assumed control is through action. Non-control is not doing non-virtue. This is what is samma kamma, right action.